Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Indigo Chameleon and the very first D&D tabletop game here at Indigo Chameleon. So, round little so we've all been here super early because we're all so excited and stuff like that. So we've got a few announcements and a few things to talk about before we jump into the game proper. So you, my dear viewers, have taken your first steps into a world of magic, intrigue, adventure, and mushrooms. Welcome all of you to the world of wonder set in Wonderland many, many years after the events of Alice in Wonderland took place. Now, we hope you will enjoy exploring the world as much as we do, for DM and characters as well. A few things before we get started. I am gonna try my hardest to follow the rules like Gary Gygax laid out in front of 5th edition, but I'm big on story, and we're forging some new territory here. So please reach out to us on the Indigo Chameleon chat. Hit me up on the Discord if there's something that's blatantly out of place. But if not, it's okay. This all ties into the mission statement set forth on Indigo Chameleon of creativity and creation. We have some amazing artists that help out with the channel, and we want to encourage them to do fun things. So we also have some fun things like critical success and critical failure cards. We'll do more of that when one of our players rolls a 20 or a 1 on an attack. Now, also influenced, these cards are influenced by our good friend Meowdith. And David, thank you so much. I don't know if you're watching, big guy, but thank you so much. Another thing that they encourage that I don't think I've ever done before, when you're making a skill check and you roll a 1, we're going to count that as like a -10. So it is a big failure. Oh, no. Okay? On a skill check. Now, however, a 20, we're going to treat that like a +10 on top of what you rolled. So if you've got a +10 to stealth and you rolled a 20, you've rolled a 40. Like, it is such a big success because I think big dynamic choices make for good storytelling. Okay? Yes. All that being said, one last thing we want to announce: we have an official drink for Wonder. Leave it to Indigo Chameleon for us to have the official drink before we have the official first episode. But our good Alka-Booze Bender, using his skills, has created.
It's Indigo Chameleon vodka. It's a vanilla and lavender infused vodka. We'll post what's on the back.
It's a really sweet moving testament, and the back of this bottle, and I'm going to post it in the Discord, so all the more reason to follow us there.
The text is beautiful, and like one drop of it, and there's just the aroma of lavender throughout the room. It's insane.
Calming.
Wonderful.
My show notes are keep things fresh, new vodka. I was like, all right, that tracks. So, all of that being said, dice are ready. Character sheets are ready. We begin this tale in a place bathed in green, the forgotten forest, home of nightmares and dreams. Your pasts are what drive you. Your future's unclear. Only you know what's inside you and what brought you here. There's change in the air. Do you feel it? It's there. This feeling of awake and of sleep. You're aware. Things lost to time, things powerful, things strong, are starting to waken to a wonderful dawn. The dawning of heroes, of some villains too. The choices abound as the clock winds anew. Which way does the ship go? Well, it depends where you steer, but be ready, be aware. But we're all mad down here. So you find yourselves in the forest. These forests are somewhat away from the Red Keep. I explained to you all that the Red Keep is sort of the prevailing ruling family at this time. Some of you are a little bit more familiar with the royal family. Those of you that have lived on the outskirts of town or lived in the forest yourselves, you're aware that they are sort of the ruling class. And the closer you get to the castle itself, the closer you get to civilization. Now, the 5 of you based on certain things that you're doing or where you are, you all find yourselves sort of traveling in the forest. I actually want to start with the two of you at the far end and what's going on in the forest. If you could introduce yourselves, the character you're playing, and what they look like.
Okay. My name is Thoe Sar. You can call me Thoe though. I'm a furbolg, and I'm a druid, and I have spent my most of my life, a good deal of my life, the best parts of my life, in the library, researching. It's what I do. But yeah, that's me. Yes?
My name is Grim Whisper. I am a long-tooth shifter. I got my name from my father, who gave me the name Grim, and Whispers from my mother's clan. When I was young, I decided it was time for my own adventure, so I had left home, and I've just been traveling ever since, meeting people along the way to whom I can share my life with, and for those people, I'm very appreciative, and for those who I've chose not to, well, they're by the wayside.
Good. So let's see what you two are doing out in the woods, and then we'll come back to this group.
How long ago did we meet?
I would say the two of you met a few days ago, traveling in the forest. Actually, no. I will say it's been about 24 hours.
Okay.
Based on stuff that we've talked about.
Okay, so he knows what
Whatever
I shared
she would
with
have
him.
told
Okay.
him. So it's up to you to
Okay.
figure out.
Gotcha.
And then it's about it's about a little after lunchtime, so around 1 or 2. So depending on what you're doing, if you're traveling through the woods, if you have a destination in mind.
And the first thing I would have asked him is about the writing that I saw and ascertain whether or not he can speak whatever this language is. Do you want to let him know?
What
or ask
languages
him?
do you speak?
I speak... I speak common.
Oh,
It is not common. One might call it uncommon. No, that's
Uncharacteristic.
So she actually holds up some. Hey, do you know what this is? And
Fancy you should say that. I can totally read that. Ah, yes, it is a language. I could decipher, yes.
all right, make a deception check. Make a deception check for me.
Yes, first roll. Yeah.
First roll of the campaign.
Okay, deception. 18.
Do you want to make an insight roll for me?
Please be smarter than me.
not very good. It's a 9.
This guy knows exactly what he's talking about.
Tell me what it says.
I feel that in due time we will understand what is written there. But until then, I ask that you be patient.
My mother and my father and everyone I've ever known or loved, with a couple of exceptions, can be found using this. Why won't you tell me what it is?
We can circle the drain about what may be in there.
Oh, I don't know how we've been together for 24 hours.
Understand that what's inside is not what's important right now. What's inside is just a figment. It's nothingness right now.
What's inside is 2 words written in a language I can't read that's going to give me a clue to where my people are.
Okay, so the two of them are arguing. So while that happens, I would say that the 3 of you are sort of traveling down the path. Tell the audience who you are and what you look like.
Hi there, I'm Tweedleday. I am a tall, slender, but very curvy bard. I am very interested in things that are great distractions to my life. Things such as, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, for instance. I'm just here to have a good time, and hopefully I manage to get into a little bit of trouble on the way.
Hello, my name's Nix, and I'm totally a druid. Ignore what it says down there. I'm totally one with the trees, man. And I'm a human. I've got bright blue hair. I've got a flower crown on. And I'm just exploring, man. Just looking around, seeing what's out there.
It's a lot to see. It's a journey. And last but not least.
Hi, I am Mandrake Madigan. You may know my family name, derived from the Mad Hatters. I am human and male, and About 6'1", 135 pounds. Very pale. Sickly pale, one might say. Silver hair, brown eyes. Just out to fix things.
So the three of you are traveling. It is a motley crew, to say the least, but you have found solace with each other. I will say that 24 hours has also been going on. All three of you, please roll a perception check for me. I have good news. It was Tracy yelling, so it's a low DC. 6, not that
Aw,
low.
13.
13. 2. Wow, okay, so Tweedledee, you actually hear what sounds to be a female voice coming from in the forest, and it is sort of yelling, and then you hear like low murmurs after that, and then some more sort of yelling.
My word, something to disrupt the day. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, man, let's go.
Sounds like a party.
The three of you stumble upon a scene. You see this furblog who sort of has this man who looks a little hairy. Yeah, we'll just say man who looks a little hairy. And she's sort of yelling at him in the forest. The two of you roll some perception checks to see if you notice these two walking out. Or these three.
11 plus
18.
and I don't remember. There. 16.
So yeah, the two of you very easily like sort of turn around and see three individuals walking up.
Hey guys, what's the commotion?
Commotion. There's just some friends having a wild conversation.
Excuse me, can you read this writing?
Can I see the writing?
Do you need to know what languages they speak?
I do.
Okay.
So I speak Dwarvish and Elvish.
You do not know what that language is.
I could totally read this for you, but I'd need like 24 hours to translate it.
Okay.
Okay, can I hold on to this then right now while I...
Well,
Look at it.
I'm not
Yeah,
comfortable with people
yeah.
carrying my book for too long. Can I have my... I'll write it down for you and I'll give you a piece of paper, but I'm not comfortable with people having my book for too long. Can I have my book back,
fine.
please?
I start like flipping through
No,
the
no,
pages.
no! Give me my book back, please!
And I want to go and like grab it from him.
Give
Okay.
me contested dex checks to
Dex?
see. Or you
I
could
won't,
just...
I won't try to stop.
Okay, yeah.
If she takes it.
Tweedledee.
Please don't damage my book.
She closes it in front of her. Do you mind if I take a look at it, dear?
At the writing, yes.
The writing.
You
Here,
can
open
you
the
can look
page
at the
for
writing.
me. Show me the writing.
Yeah, if you'll copy it, like I'll totally translate it for you and have
Okay.
it by like tomorrow.
Abyssal, Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Sylvan. I do apologize, dear.
Can I have a look?
You okay with that?
Thank you.
We're just passing the book
And then
around
I
now.
hand it to him
Everyone's...
with
Be
Everyone.
very
The
careful with
language.
it, please.
Common, Gnomish, Sylvan. Nope. Nope.
Well, it seems we have a puzzle on our hands.
Guess I'm the only one that can read it then.
He said he can read it and he won't tell me what it says.
It's not the words that matter right now. I've been trying to tell you. It's
Well, then
not-
just tell me what the words are and then I can decide that they don't matter.
It's the words are simply this: trust the balance.
Can I insight this to see if he has any clue what's going on?
I was...
You want to see if he's...
Like if he just is screaming BS to me. So.
Sure, yeah. Give me another deception check, because you can't read this.
Wait, against my insight or
Deception versus
Could I
insight.
also roll inside?
Yes, if you're trying to pick up on what he's laying down.
16.
No.
5.
This dude is so legit, he's too legit to quit. Like,
Ooh, facial hair and braids. I like this
Yes,
one.
It's a gift, but it's also lame.
Oh, really far. 12. No.
no, this guy knows what he's talking about. We should probably give him the book.
He's just a jerk.
If you'll copy it down before giving him the book, like I'll totally translate it.
I'm
for
not
you.
giving him the book. He's
Or if
already
you'll
seen the
copy it
writing.
for both of us,
I
then
have it written
so
down
we'll
over there.
like
Here, Richie.
My
I
dear.
have it written over here.
we'll both
I can
translate it for you, and then you can like see if there's like overlapping.
Where the discrepancies are.
Well, if there's like, you know, different places have different ways of saying things, so like he might translate it just slightly different than I'll translate it. So like,
What did you say that it said?
It
again?
says trust in the balance. Not only must you believe it in this moment, but in every moment.
That's an awful lot to be said with this.
It's quite long-winded, but it's paraphrasing, if you will.
And what language is that exactly?
Oh, so where have you all come from? Quite an odd place in the forest we've met.
We were about 200 yards that way.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then she heard you guys, so we came this way.
Oh,
Yeah.
quite the ears you have on you.
I have keen senses. Yes, I'm very good at these things.
Keen myself.
You know. I will, if you ask nicely.
Oh.
I will say there's this weird moment where the three of you are just sort of watching the two of them hit it off really well. And I need everybody at the table to give me another perception check, please. What do we got, kids? What do we got?
20.
Dude.
3.
16.
10.
You two hear screams, and it's different. You rolled high. You rolled a 20.
Yeah.
You hear screams off in the distance, and it sounds like somebody is being attacked. You hear distinctly it's a woman's screams coming off from the distance, and you hear the sound of like a struggle.
Does anybody else hear this? There's
Screaming.
yes, but it's more than that though. It's
Loud screaming.
well, it sounds that of a woman, I believe, is what
You're
it sounds
trying to
like.
distract from the fact that you won't tell me what language this is.
This has nothing to do with the language at this point. This has everything to do with someone in peril of. I think we need to go check it out. Go look.
More screams.
Okay.
You want us
All right,
to follow more
fine.
screams.
Well, you followed the screams here, and look how
I'm
it
just
turned
saying,
out.
I think this is wonderful. Let's do it. More
Sure,
disruption,
lead us to
more
these
disruption.
screams.
Then we're heading off towards the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys set off in the direction of the screams. It doesn't take long to sort of track the sounds. The five of you come upon a clearing. Inside this clearing is a little sort of break in the trees. You see a woman, much older. Who's been to the Lake County Renaissance Fair? The one with the tags and the gypsy, the older woman who pushes the cart around.
Yes.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
This is exactly what this woman looks like, and there is a king's guard not too far away from where this woman is, and he's got his hands up. And this woman is sort of screaming and staring him down in the face, and he's not touching her, holding her, but he's got his hands up. Everybody, give me an investigation or a history, whichever is better for you.
2 investigation.
2 investigation.
10.
2 history.
10 history.
Okay.
8 investigation.
18 plus 5, 23 investigation.
Oh, this is smart, my boy. So the two of you are watching this sort of soldier put his hands up. You notice that he has a spade in his armor. Here in the Kingdom of Wonder, the King's Guard are split into 4 different sort of suits. He's wearing spades, which is general for patrolling sort of troops that go around and things
Okay.
of that sort. So this is an official representative of the kingdom. He's got a spade on his arm.
Okay. I'll take the lead. I'll step in front of everyone, kind of fix my jacket,
Okay.
and what is the meaning of this?
My babies, they're trying to kill my baby. And this woman is just sobbing. She's got tears. They're trying to kill my babies, and I don't want them to. And the guard puts his hand up and says, "We're not trying to kill her babies. This is a misunderstanding. There's a..." And the woman sort of turns while he's speaking to you, grabs him by the scruff of his neck, and throws him on the ground. And the king's guard is sort of knocked unconscious
Okay.
as she does this. And she walks over towards all of you and says, please, you have to help me. They're trying to kill my babies. There's so many of them.
That was a mighty blow for an older woman.
Yes.
I lift occasionally. It's not a big deal, but please.
I'm gonna walk over to the soldier that's on the ground now and start rifling through what he might have on him.
Okay, you all see, like in this very touching moment, Madigan starts taking a few steps back and then starts rifling through the purse of the king's guard.
What are you doing?
Would I have been able to
Checking.
tell who it was based off of hearing his voice and seeing the spade?
Give me a D20.
Just straight?
Just straight D20.
16.
You don't recognize this one.
Okay.
But he's got the same sort of build that all of the spades have, outdoorsy type, a little less unkempt as the hearts, which sort of surround the castle and work inside the castle. This is one of the sort of roughnecks on the outer edges, and this woman just slammed him into the ground.
Fair.
You're gonna get us all arrested.
An open purse is an open invitation.
No. He is in the King's Guard.
He can, like,
And
arrest
he's
us
asleep.
right now.
But
What are your babies?
Oh, well, I mean, I raised them. I found a little thing, and he's got these like wings off to the side, and
You got
I freed him.
birds?
Yes, he's like a bird.
It's like a bird, man.
bird.
You got birds.
Like a bird.
Give me an investigation check to see what you find on this guy.
18, 23.
He's rolling hot. Yeah, you very easily find his purse next to him, and he has 4 gold on his person. He also has a playing card inside. It is a 2.
No, you give his stuff back now. Give
Find
his
his
stuff back.
keepers.
My dear, your birds, where might they be?
She looks at you. She grabs your hand, and then she lets go, and she starts making her way off into the trees, like fast.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this sounds like an adventure.
Where'd she go?
Into the trees.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Would you like to go to the trees?
Are we helping your babies or?
We're gonna fight the babies.
helping
So the guy's unconscious on the ground, right?
Guy's unconscious on the ground.
Okay. I'm so sorry to do this because I want to see these birds. Okay, I'm gonna cast entangle on him to get no, because he's away from the guard. No, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna heal the guard.
Okay.
I'm going past the guard and into the trees before she does that. Like,
I'm sticking with her then.
I'm getting out of
Her
line.
Two of you are running.
Yeah.
You're sticking with her.
Could I have replaced
Come on,
what I
boy.
took with
Let's
crumbling
go.
with a couple of stones
don't you catch me.
No.
to counter the weight?
No.
No? Okay.
Not this time, but I like where your head.
Okay.
The 2 of them take off running.
Okay.
Go with.
You're like, well, somebody's screaming. The 3 of you go off
We
running.
need to help.
Perfect.
Of course.
So we'll time this out as best we need to. You heal the guard.
Okay, so I cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
It's 1d8 plus 3, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's back to consciousness.
Okay.
And sort of sitting up and said, what happened? What where am the lady? She slammed me into the. Oh,
She did. And what is happening with her birds?
it's not a bird. It's. I can't. It's.
What is it?
It's a dragon. And no one has seen one for years. This guy's. It's either like something wrong or like. It's. The race is back because nobody's seen a dragon in these parts for years. And then while he's speaking to you, he's trying to articulate.
I'm so sorry. I have to go. The other guy took your purse. Go get it back from him. And I run off towards them.
We are not friends.
As she takes off running, I imagine you take off running as well.
I'm entangled, aren't I?
No, she
No, I didn't.
pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
I'm gone.
So Tracy, you're going to be a little bit behind everybody. We're going to get around first because, all right, I have to go. I have to see the dragons. I was on an adventure. This is the scene which unfolds in front of you. As you're sort of following this woman through the brush, you're hearing the sound of a large struggle happening. As you come into this area, you come to what looks to be like a cliff overhang. As you're on the cliff overhang, you see 5 or 6 of the King's Guard sort of backing this creature, which none of you have ever seen anything like before in your life. It looks like a giant reptile. It looks like what you would see a painting of a dragon to look like. But as the guards are looking at it, and as all of you are looking at it, it's swiveling and it's directing its focus. And as it's directing its focus, it looks over at you and it goes bright blue. And its eyes get a little off to the side. And then as it looks at you, it shifts even further into this like fiery red. And every time it does that, it like shimmers and changes into something else. And as it looks at all of you, it's continuing to do that. It's continuing to shift its focus around. For the first time in Wonder, all of you, please roll initiative for me.
Oh!
Ooh. 21.
Let's actually go around 20 to 25.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Which makes me, God, I wish I'd rolled that 20 on something else, not initiative. But it's a 21, which means we roll off.
So you got a 21.
I got a 21.
Actually, 20 to 15.
Ooh.
Right?
17.
17. 15 to 10.
Oh.
10 to 5.
That hot dice.
I got 7.
Oh.
I got 5.
Oh. Well, babies.
We're squishy.
So little. Okay. Tracy, you rolled a nat 20, and in this game, that's like adding a 10 plus to what you rolled. So not only do you not miss out on that turn catching up, but you are at the top of the initiative. The hearing the word dragon has fueled within you a nerdy rage, like the witch is like, there's a new Star Wars game. Like, you're off and at a pace. So you are actually going to go before whatever this creature is goes. But that's the top of the order. So we're going to start right there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up towards him.
Okay.
and I'm going to try to make friends with him. I don't have a way to do that. I can talk to creatures, but dragons would not be considered like beasts.
From what you know...
He's not a small beast.
No, he's not a small beast. Okay.
But the thing is, I don't want to kill him.
Straight through.
So what I'm going to do, gosh, do I know anything? I would have done research on dragons. Like, I would have never seen them, but what do dragons like?
Give me a history check free of charge because this is a ballsy, dumb move.
I know! 22.
Okay, from what you knew, dragons, you probably studied it from a purely analytical sort of. So you're thinking lizards, you're thinking carnivorous lizard, you're thinking...
No, what do they like to eat? Like... Okay.
You're also a
right.
smarty pants. But you also know that in a lot of the cultures and a lot of the stories, respect was a big thing to them. So it wasn't make yourself big. It was like, oh God, here's my wallet. Please. So that's what you would know from all your research.
So,
on this mythical being that shouldn't exist but does.
Okay, so I'm going to use, okay. Okay, so I can instantly light or snuff out a candle or torch or a small campfire, but I don't have any of those things with... Oh, I do have a candle in my pack, in my Dungeoneer's pack.
Okay.
So I'm going to walk up, and I'm going to look respectfully towards him, and I'm going to grab my candle, and I'm going to go and light the flame, because dragons like flames. I'm going to try to make friends with him.
Give me a... charisma check. You use your...
I don't want to kill him.
Charismatic wiles.
Oh God. Charisma check. Crap. Where's my charisma? There it is. Oh yeah, it's +0. That's a 13.
That's a 13. Okay, so the battle ensues as sort of all of you come around the corner, and for some reason the furbolg that was like the last to leave is standing in front of the fight. All the guardsmen are sort of backed off to a corner, and the furbolg steps forward and looks at everyone solemnly, pulls a candle out of her back, lights the candle, and the dragon sort of pops their head to the side, and she's standing there holding a candle.
You all my life.
And the dragon is going to take an attack against you because it knows you can breathe fire now. And it is a little freaked out. 18.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yeah,
that hits and then some.
Yeah,
That's hard.
As this thing sort of takes a step forward towards you, it's only going to do 4 points of damage.
Thank goodness.
As it makes a claw attack towards you and it sort of pushes you backwards. So, that being said, Austin, it is now your turn. What is next to you?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of go to the right so I'm not in a big clump of everyone.
Yes.
And I'm going to use Frostbite.
Perfect. What does Frostbite do?
So cause numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range of 60 feet. Constitution saving throw of 13. On failed save, target takes 1d6 cold damage and disadvantage on next weapon attack.
So it rolled a 15.
Rolled a 15? Okay,
Yes.
so it is fine then.
It's okay. Okay. So you see Nick sort of like back up, and as he does, he sort of raises his arms like this, and he shoves his hands forward, and as it does, this cold sort of like creeps up to where the dragon is. But as it cocks its head and looks at Nyx, it once again gets that blue color, and as it gets that blue color, that blue ice that's starting to form sort of gets pulled back just a little bit as that happens. So, Chris, you're up.
So I am going to be all sort of stealthy and try to flank the dragon on opposite side.
Okay, it's pushed up against a cliff, so
Okay.
I'll let you do this, but you're a little close
Just
to
a
the
little
edge. there,
disadvantaged? Okay.
You're living on the edge.
Then I'll just get as close as I can. I'll just
Perfect.
grab my short sword and just give it a
Okay,
slash.
yeah,
to-
give me an attack roll.
All right, here we go. Oh, okay. You said ones or negative 10s, right?
Did you roll a nat one?
Yes.
No, that's something different.
Oh boy.
This is our first critical failure.
I just everyone can take a look at that.
Unfortunately, there's one in here that says you kill the thing, but you also kill yourself. So just don't do
Be
that.
prepared, y'all.
Yeah.
No.
It's been wonderful. It's been great. Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody?
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder.
You want me to drop for you, so you don't have to reach across? Do you trust me?
I do. Great.
For any other situation when you weren't on the edge of a cliff, this would be really, really good. I need you to roll a d4 for me.
You were on the edge of a cliff.
I have 50 feet of rope, right?
In
your
roll
pocket.
D4.
2.
Okay. I tried to split the uprights and give you 3 feet of room. So you stumble backwards 2 feet as this dragon's wings sort of like flap once and deflect the sword. When it does, that gust of wind sort of pushes you back, and you're like, haha, shit. So that is your turn. As you're sort of like, you guys see the sort of guy just sort of stand there like this. So that is your turn,
Okay.
unfortunately.
That's fine.
That's all right.
I know what to do next. I know what to do next.
Eric,
Okay.
what do you do?
I'm gonna try to go around the other side.
Okay.
A little bit around the other side.
Same warning.
Same warning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go. Back and forth.
And I'm gonna make an attack with my dagger if I get close enough.
Okay. So you're gonna get right up close to it, and you're gonna take an
I'm
attack.
gonna try that.
Yes. Let's see what you hit.
I got 10. Yeah?
What do you add to your attack? Did you roll a 10?
Yeah, I rolled a 10.
I'm pretty sure for your dagger it's a
Oh.
+6
Okay.
to hit. So if you look on D&D Beyond where it says actions,
Yes.
you see
1d4 plus 4.
right. So but what is the
Yeah.
plus right
Plus
now?
6.
Plus 6. 16 hits. So
Yeah.
yes, roll damage, but also roll your sneak attack.
Okay.
Since you have an ally that's within 5 feet fighting the same creature.
3.
3. Your D6?
D6.
It's 3. Did you roll the D4 for the
Sorry.
dagger?
2.
Okay. So there we go. 5 plus 3. Okay, 7 points of damage. So this dagger sort of, you guys watch as Madigan sort of creeps forward, and for some of you, looking very much so like the demon that his family has raised to be, sort of creeps forward, stabs this thing in the side, and as he stabs it in the side, it reels backward, and you see it flash through 6 or 7 incarnations. Where it's like ears are long in one and the tail is long in the other, and it's got 3 heads in one. But you see it flash through these sort of phases as it screams out in pain based on the damage that's done to it. Aubrey.
Okay, so I would have seen her like doing the try and respect thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to get to where the dragon can see me, but maybe like the guards can't really see me.
You would have to be further, or you'd have to be behind the guards. All the guards are sort of facing forward.
Okay.
She's pretty tall, but you're also pretty tall too, so I don't know if you could hide and do this. Or sacrifice your bonus action for me and
Okay.
roll a stealth check to see how sneaky she's feeling in this moment.
20, not nat.
do whatever you want to do. They're
Cool.
not going to see a thing.
So she's gonna actually take her dagger and like set on the ground. Like I don't know if this is a thing I can do action wise, and then just like curtsy and bow, like make herself real low towards the dragon.
Okay. Give me a charisma check.
Just straight.
Straight up charisma. Add your charisma modifier.
17.
Okay. You see the dragon sort of direct its attention to you. It goes that bright red again, and it shrinks a bit. Tracy, you're up.
Okay. I am going to. Oh God, there's 2 different choices now that he's done that. Okay. Okay. I am going to use my Furbolg magic, so I don't have to use a spell slot.
Okay.
To disguise self.
Ooh. Okay.
And so I'm going to look at him and bow down again, but this time I'm turning myself into a dragonborn.
Okay.
I'm giving myself dragon-like features.
Okay. I believe for disguise self you have to have seen it before.
Or can I just give myself features similar to him?
Yeah.
Since I haven't seen a dragonborn?
I would allow that. So this is important
So like
too.
give myself scales.
How low do you bow?
How low do you go?
How
Do
low
you bow so that you still are standing on your feet? Or do you go all the way down to the ground?
Okay, I go all the way down, but still like I'm gonna dip my eyes for a second,
Okay.
but not very long because I'm afraid I'm gonna get hit again.
Okay. Give me a charisma check at advantage.
At advantage.
It's an 8 and a 7. It's an 8.
I will.
Bad with people and dragons.
I will say that this thing doesn't attack. It doesn't necessarily stop, but it's locked onto her, and it hasn't. On its turn, it does not make a move against anyone.
Okay.
This thing is locked onto the one that kind of looks similar to it with the different features. Okay. That being said, Austin, it's your turn.
God. All right. I'm gonna join in the pacifist solution, and I'm still a bit to the side, so I'm not clumped, but I do go near them, like the same distance, however far they are, and I'll get on one knee and take off my crown and kind of bow towards it.
Okay. That's great. Give me the same thing. Give me a charisma check at advantage.
At advantage, okay. 6. God.
We're so
God.
You're trying to
charismatic.
poison it with the crown. It
Whatever.
brings its wings up a little bit to move, but it still doesn't move. Chris,
Okay. I'm sure I've seen all this.
you've seen all this.
And
Let's just
it makes
down.
sense that my first go was almost got me killed, and my second needs to go for the other approach. This balances everything I do.
Okay.
So I'm just how is there anything like blocking me from the edge, like where I can kind of return?
You could return. You were within melee with this, so it does have the chance to take an opportunity attack, but it may not.
Then I'm gonna use a. So
I'm just giving you the heads up that you're close enough to this that if it snaps back around, but
Didn't
you can
think
still do it. You can also do whatever you're planning to do,
That's
just
smart.
right there.
dang options. Okay, well then, as for character and balance sake, then I am just going to start walking back to the group, just easing back, bowing my head. Just
You all watch as Grim sort of moves, and as it does, the creature once again sort of snaps its eyes there, and a little guttural like roars, like sort of like starts building up in it, and as it does, it just sort of watches him around. It's almost like too much bowing. It's just
It's okay.
it's too
It's
much
like
bowing.
with the head thing when lizards want to intimidate each other.
Eric.
I'm gonna look over at what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna yell, "Fine!" and I'll backflip away. and land in a battle.
Give me. That's too good. Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
So there you go.
You could say
20.
we're all mad here.
20. You guys watch. You guys watch as the Hatter sort of takes the dagger and it's still dripping blood. And sort of shakes it up to the side. He's like, fine. And does a backflip, and as he backflips, he takes his hat off and sort of waves it and puts it on and into a bow onto the ground.
Wow.
As that happens, the dragon keeps tracking all of you, but all of you are in some sort of like subservient position. The guards have picked up on what you're laying down, and some of them are just like crying, like putting their weapons to the side, like putting their hands up. It like sniffs and it looks over at you again, and it looks over at the ground, I think where you probably dropped the candle, and it goes boom, and it like shoots out a little flame and like, but just burns the whole thing up in one go.
Cute.
You realize it might have been a gesture, but like now you're just terrified that it had done. I had a cool breath attack and everything. This cool thing was gonna change.
Opened a
The bard ruined it.
Thanks.
Frickin' bard.
The bard and the druid, leave it to them to be the pacifists. But the dragon sort of bows to all of you one time, and it takes off. It's like a shot in the dark, and you see as the guards are all sort of starting to get up. You are out of combat at this point, and the little old lady in the back is just sort of like looking up, and she's got tears streaming down her face as she's just sort of waving at this this little like creature that's off and about and moving.
I'm not paying any attention to that because I'm looking all over the ground for any little scales or anything that was left over from
Give me
it, and
an
I'm scribbling in my notebook.
investigation check.
17 to 19.
You know what? Funny story. When he hit that thing with the dagger, I think it was some of the only damage that got done to this thing. And as it did, a couple of dragon scales had fallen to the ground. And you need to give me a dex check here. I will say your investigation was so high that you can make this at an advantage because you all notice that the guards are kind of doing the same thing.
Ooh.
They're scanning the ground and nobody else seems to be, but the furblog is as well.
15, 16.
One of them rushes over to the spot that you're in, and he goes, "Oh, I found one," and reaches down just as you bring one foot up to cover the other one and do that foot slidey back thing. So you don't get both, but you do get one, and it's currently under your foot.
Okay. And what color is it?
You don't know it's under
I don't
your
know.
foot.
Oh, because I didn't know if I saw it because I was looking.
When you saw it, it
Okay.
was a shimmery, shiny
Okay. All right.
iridescent. As this is happening, the woman is sort of in the back, and she's sort of transfixed and sort of waving and talking quietly to herself.
I'm gonna approach her.
She goes, that was my baby.
Yeah, we're
That was Momra.
so we're like the other ones. You said like
She did say babies as in plural, as in more than one.
like that's
Could be
usually
more
more
than
than one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So, where are they?
Where, sweetie?
You're the babies.
Oh, I'm sure they're around.
Around where?
Oh, here in Wonder. I cannot thank you enough for everything that you've done. Would you like to join me for desserts or food or?
How lovely.
Tea?
Oh yes, I happen to have a lovely tea set. If you'd like to join me.
Absolutely. Nice fight, nice sort of victory. Wash it down.
One of the guards has stepped forward. It was one of the one that was there, and it's you all notice as one of the other guards runs over and gives him something, and he takes his helmet off, and he actually has a facial mark. It looks like a burn in his face. That is a spade. And it's on the cheek. You two rolled high enough, you know that the captains of the brigades get this burned into themselves so they never forget it's calling a spade a spade.
I would like to
I'm
try
gonna-
and stealth at this point.
You're gonna try to walk away. Give me a stealth check.
Oh goodness. 7.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you all so much for being here. I had no way of knowing that we would have the help here. It's all right. Wherever you're running from, this is not the castle. It is not the city. It is the forest. And I cannot thank you enough for everything that you did. You are heroes. You are travelers. You are.
She just steps forward. Heroes, yes. However you want to thank us.
Yes.
Money, kisses, whatever.
Enzo will take your hand and kiss it, and as the Captain Enzo of the Spades, I'm afraid I don't have much money to give. We had no idea something like this had existed, but now that we have proof, I'm sure the king and some of the other librarians would be interested in this knowledge. Here, why don't I do this? And he reaches behind him and he, 1, 2, 3. What are your names?
Nix.
Nix, yes.
A Tweedle.
Tweedle, yes.
Grim.
Grim,
Thoey.
Thoey, yes.
Mandrake Madigan.
It's funny. He's telling the jokes. Okay, so he gives you each a marker. It looks like a black onyx stone, but it's in the shape of a spade, and it looks like there's an E on the other side of it. He's like, I have an outpost not far from here. If you come to me, I can find you work. I can coin items, whatever. You would just be doing the work of the king and doing work for the kingdom itself. So it's up to you, please. We could use people like you. We do not always have to solve things with swords in hand.
I think this is a good idea.
Does he have a little exclamation point above his head?
Is that who starts? Who starts?
Do you see a little exclamation point above his head?
It immediately goes to a question mark, and we completed.
But it's not necessary to click on it. As he sort of bows and off to the side. Are you really one? Are you really a mantican?
I just take my hat off and bow.
I'm going to drink for a week after saying this. Interesting. And he will walk back and join his men, and you hear him saying something, and they all turn, and then you hear even one of them they're like, keep it cool, but one guy in the corner is like, shut the hell up! And they all like, damn it, Terry. But there's this moment where that mane has enough to rifle feathers and ruffle feathers and stuff like that. So
The guard is still near me with the.
no,
scale?
they've all sort of joined
he's
and they're
gone?
making their way back.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking.
I
You
had a
guys
plan.
noticed that Thoe wasn't really a part of this conversation. Like she was into it, but I'm guessing you refused to move at all.
No, I refused because I was going to create a
So I
distraction
imagine you
for
were
him.
like this the whole time for the conversation, like looking over your shoulder and stuff. They make their ways off to the distance, and you see this lovely old woman sort of standing there and expectantly, like clapping her hands and looking at all of you.
I want to, as soon as nobody's looking, as much as possible, I want to pocket that scale.
None of them, or none of the guards.
None of the guards.
Okay, the guards have left.
And if I can get away with it, none of them. But
Okay.
if they see it, it's not.
She goes, oh, all right. Are you going to come with me? We'll have some tea.
I'd love a bit of tea. That sounds
Oh, well,
wonderful.
let's go then.
Yes.
And she sort of turns around, and there's a path that all the guards have sort of walked down. This woman cuts through the brush off to the other side. Like she walks straight into like bushes and trees, and just shoving things off to the side.
Was there enough blood on my dagger to save some?
Give me an alchemy check. Give me your int plus your proficiency. So int plus 2.
That's a 5.
It's red.
Man, that's a cool dagger.
It's real clean though, right?
Self-cleaning dagger.
It's so good. I'm like this, and it's gone.
Clean daggers every day. So you don't find anything, but I imagine you set off and she says tea, and
Oh yeah.
as you walk forward, she sort of puts her hands out like this, and
I don't take it.
she grabs your arm. And she says,
Are you really part of the Madigan family?
Yes.
That's lovely. Ah, do you like walking?
and she's just like she's talking to you the whole time.
The things I do for tea.
I'm just calling back, like, I'm gonna grab my dagger and then I dropped real fast, and, Zoe, are you coming, sweetie?
Coming, I just have a few notes to take before they go out of my brain.
Notes. Alright.
She's quite thorough.
Do you follow?
Where are we going?
To have tea?
To tea.
Oh. Yeah, man. I'll go with tea.
Come on, Dan. And she'll imitate the old lady and, like, grab him and, like, pull him
Alright.
forward.
What do you do?
Following the tea
Alright.
train.
You are currently unoccupied.
Okay, so I'm going to reach down and I'm going to pick up the scale and look at it.
Okay, you pick up the scale and look at it, and even as you look at it, the scale sort of shimmers and changes. And right now it's shimmering between different colors. You could make an investigation check to see if anything else is changing. about it.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
7.
You're sort of enamored with the color changing. This is a huge find to you. You set forth to discover new things and seek out some of the mystery that is wonder, and you have found it. And as this thing sort of changes and based on your sort of looking at it, you can study it more later, or you can put it in your pack and join that. But they're getting further.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in my pack and then look around really quickly, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I'm going to run off to join them.
Okay, perfect. The 5 of you make your way through the woods of wonder. I'm sure you've been traveling for days, but I don't know if any of you are trailblazers, or you would say on the paths. You know that there are some beasties and creatures of strangeness wandering around, but she is cutting straight through the brush and walking through some dark places. So, what's my marching order?
I'm assuming you're
I'm
first.
attached to her,
Yeah.
so
I'm following behind her.
I think I'm linked up with her.
And Thoe's at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm catching up as fast as I can because I want to ask her 100,000 questions about this dragon.
Yeah, I'm a good couple steps behind, but it's still an earshot.
What's everybody's passive perception for me?
Ooh.
12.
12?
10.
10?
15.
15?
12.
11.
Oh.
Am I noticing any
yeah.
useful
Also
herbs
distracted.
on the
I'm
walk?
just easily.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Thoe, you're trying to catch up to him, trying to catch up with him, but the little scientist that lives in your brain that is always constantly there triggers something in you because the texture of the ground has changed, and it's almost a different sort of texture.
What does it look like?
Looks like brown dirt, but it almost looks like you're at a beach side now because there's crushed. It's crushed rocks or crushed sediment mixed in with the dirt around you.
So it's almost like we're in a different location than we were before.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, give me an investigation check if you start looking around for medicinal herbs and spices.
It was an 8 plus 5, so
You notice some commonplace stuff. I will say with a 13, you're noticing a few plants that you don't know what they are, which for you is a little weird.
right.
But you're noticing some stuff growing, some of the moss and stuff like that. As you're walking along and sort of talking, Thoe's catching up. She's slowed down a little bit, but as you're catching up, the time of day is starting to change
Okay.
pretty drastically to what it should be. Like either there's a lot of like greenery up top, or like there's a storm coming, but the sunlight's starting to cut out a little bit as she's walking further into
What
the
time of day was it when
2
we left?
p.m.
So it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be
this.
nighttime yet, but that's the vibe you're getting as you walk deeper and deeper into the woods.
Excuse me, where are we going?
Oh dear, we have to go to the table to have tea.
How much?
You can't have tea just sitting about. Well, I mean, you could. I mean, needs must when the devil drives. But you when you have tea, you must have the proper accoutrement. And I have the proper accoutrement for all of you to have tea.
Right. And how much further to this accoutrement?
It's actually closer than you think.
Well, that would be a lovely change.
She walks forward, and as she walks forward, she gets to sort of a large tree that seems to be blocking the path, and she touches the tree, and the tree shrinks down. Really, really tiny in size. And she walks over the tree into this, it looks like an amphitheater. There are these stone steps leading down to the bottom of the amphitheater, but it's been aged over time. Lots of different sort of plants and stuff growing over the stone steps. At the bottom of this amphitheater, the seats and the stone steps sort of revolving all around it, you see what looks to be a table, aged just as much as the surrounding area. Stone, beat to hell, but there's a tablecloth.
Would I recognize this?
Would you?
Ooh.
Give me a history check. Anybody that has a proficiency in history or make a history check. Yeah.
Okay. 11.
22.
Damn.
I sure don't care.
Yeah, give me 1 second with that.
Okay. So I'll say this. This is weird. You know about the forest?
I got 9.
The 12. The amphitheater is the amphitheater is one thing. You've never heard of a large sort of theater like this. You have heard of sort of weird, strange things that the forest has swallowed over time. You know this table.
Okay. What is this table?
This table is the subject of many paintings,
This
many
is the
renditions.
Mad
of
Hatter's
it.
Tea Party.
This is the
table?
original tea table for Alice.
Okay. And is it in the right location, or is it like it's been moved?
No one knows where the location was. Supposedly, the table was lost to time itself. And this could be a facsimile. You know that a lot of the rich sort of hoity-toity, especially ones that live around the castle, all claim to have parts of the table or some of the original tea sets. The table itself is grandiose. It's marble. It's white and black marble. Some of the chairs look like they've been taken from different settings. One looks to be just a wooden, hardback chair. One looks to be red and velvety and very, sort of silkenly. One is completely made of leather. The other one looks like it was hand sewn, all these different patches sort of put together, but they're spread haphazardly. There's also a tea set on the table, all mismatched cups. And you see as this little old lady with more dexterity and vigor than should be allowed runs down the stone steps and starts hurriedly gathering things and setting cups up at the different chairs and counting all of you and sort of prepping the table. So you have a minute where she's not around.
About 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Is there food? There is food on this table?
I would say from where you're standing, you see her busying herself and you see her putting things on plates.
Am I within 30 feet of this table?
No.
No. Okay, never mind. Okay. All right.
You could take 20 steps down the stairs and be within 30 feet of this table.
Listen, guys, I don't know what's going on here, but I do know that I can find out if any of this stuff is poisonous, which might be good to know. But I should probably do this the long way instead of the short way. But the long way is going to be about 10 minutes. But you could probably make up something about what I'm doing, because I'm not very good at lying.
How is this not the long way?
Well, aren't you a gem?
He does make an excellent point, dear. The quicker you get started, the sooner we can be doing whatever it is you need to do.
But also, we are a group of, some are a group of talkers, and I believe we could work something out.
Could you make up something for me then?
I would love to.
Okay. All right. Then I run down and I put myself into some sort of a meditative prayer position.
Okay.
And then I start casting as a ritual detect poison and disease.
This is going to take 10 minutes.
Yes, I know. It may not work, but hey.
So you see as though he sort of walks down and be like, and just immediately goes into sort of meditation.
I'm gonna sit next to her and do the same thing.
Okay.
I head straight to the lady, and I grab one of her hands and I start swinging her around. My dear, I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Actually, I didn't catch your name. Mind running it by me again?
Oh, yes, I'm EC.
EC, that is beautiful. Where's that from?
Oh, the alphabet.
Well, yes, of course, the alphabet. How could I forget? Sometimes I just get caught up in my day-to-day.
That's all right. I would lose my head if it wasn't glued on so tight.
I understand completely. I would lose these boys if I wasn't so attractive.
Oh,
It's a joke.
I remember those days.
Of
Being
course
attractive
you
and
do.
young, full
My
of vigor.
dear. Those days. My dear, those days are not behind you yet. Look at you. Stunning. Attractive. Beautiful. Why would just a little pickup of the... There it is. She just slightly picks her hair up. I believe a trim is in order.
If you blow out any more smoke up my butt, I'm gonna think you're the dragon.
But she sort of taps you on the cheek appreciatively and sort of admires your beauty and looks at you, and she looks over at Chloe.
I step between them, grab a teapot, and say, "Would you like some help?"
Oh, yes, please. 2 sugars here. And by help, she's like, oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
And she goes to the end of the table and sits in this sort of comfortable chair. And the minute she sits in the chair, she leans her head back and just passes out.
Beautiful. But that was easier than expected.
We shouldn't wake her with volume of conversation.
10 minutes go by. As quickly as Grim is like, do you all want to play cards?
I have my deck. I have birds in my eyes.
You open your eyes and you see within 30 feet of you, I imagine, I don't know, what does this look like to Thory? When she channels this sort of magic, does she see check marks? Does she see facts labeled out? How does her magic manifest itself?
Nice. Yeah, as far as for these sorts of things, she sees it. Oh, she sees it as running text.
Perfect. So you can't see this, but Thory gets really happy. She gets that same look she gets when she's looking at her notebook, and you're seeing running text, and it's blueberries, poisonous, or no, and there's that, and you look around the table, and sure enough, the table, there's tea, and you open the sort of container of snacks, and it is rocks and various sticks, and it's almost like a child that's made tea and has these little presents. But the tea, you go over to it and you look and you actually lift the lid, and it smells very aromatic. It's got hints of lavender all over it, but it is not marked as poisonous.
Okay, so nothing on the table.
Nothing on the table
reading
is
as
marked as
poisonous.
poisonous.
And I look over at him too because he's been casting the same thing, and I speak to him in Druidic.
Ooh, lovely. What do you say?
I said, just an offhand, oh, you're like me.
Thory, sort of after casting the spell, sort of walks over, and she does what you're sort of looking out, and then you kind of look down, and she's right there next to you, looking at you like this, and she says something to you, and then,
Oh, hey, man.
Does he say it in Druidic or Common?
I say it in common.
Are you having the conversation with one of us?
No, I get what you're saying, but I don't want to be rude and speak where they don't understand. So I'm just yeah, what you said, but thank you,
It's just that I'm not around many druids, and it's really fun to be able to.
Yeah, it's
once in a
nice
while.
to have another druid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same, man.
you're super into it. In terms of insight checks and deception, because there's going to be a lot of that in one bit, especially with the sexy bard and with your backstories. If you feel like they would accept it, that's great. We're going to treat this almost like storytelling rules. If you just kind of buy it, that's fine. If you're a little wonky about it, you got to ask me, does it look like they're telling the truth? And then we'll roll insight from there. Does that make
She'll
sense?
accept it for now, but she's tucking it in the back of her brain.
All right, consider it tucked. You're at the table. She's still sort of sleeping, but Madigan is still holding the teapot.
Hey guys, it's safe. It's not poisonous.
Tea time.
Oh,
I mean, is that what you found out too?
Oh, I thought we were just sitting and like relaxing. I'm sorry.
That is a wonderful idea.
Madigan.
I just didn't want you to be alone, over there by yourself, like all closed off, So I figured I'd,
Thanks.
druid, like,
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
My druid love.
What chairs do you sit at the table?
She takes one with velvet. She wants something
Velvet. Cushiony, fun.
red, cushiony. She's gonna.
I'm finding a chair that's equally comfortable and uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm finding the cheapest thing there is.
Okay, so I would say you find this sort of wooden chair with cushion on it, but the cushion is sort of lumpy. So you're like, well, it's better than sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
You find the cheapest thing it's there. It's actually, you don't know if it's a stool that somebody just carved a bad chair out of, or just like a branch that happened to fall in a way that this is reminiscent of a stool.
I'll take it, man.
Madigan, where do you place your seat?
The head of the table.
And Hurry, what about you?
I'm looking for something that looks like a chair right out of a library, and if there's not something like that, then something that looks supernatural like home.
Okay. You will see this sort of circular, sort of stone that's been pushed up to the table, and it's covered in moss, and it reminds you of one of your first reading nooks when you used to sort of lay back and sort of have your reading time, and it feels as comfortable as it did back home. Madigan very diligently sort of walks over and with pomp and circumstance pours everyone a cup of tea, offering sugar, which does happen to be next to the teapot. Somebody give me, actually all of you, give me an intelligence check.
16.
Not 20.
16.
20.
So,
we are smart
nat 20
AF right now.
plus
Nat 20
3.
is so nat
14.
20.
Oh, nat 20.
You're just
14.
in charge.
Okay.
You three actually notice that the ritual took 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding the teapot,
Mm-hmm.
and he's pouring warm tea out of the teapot. But nobody has reheated this tea
Right.
for 10 minutes, and it's coming out warm. You are sort of paying attention to that, and you're noticing that the cups around the table that he's pouring the tea into have different scenes painted on them.
Like what kind of scene?
Oh God, what? There's a giant green caterpillar in one. Looks like one has a picture of this really surly looking walrus and this man holding tools next to him. There is a woman in a very cartoonish sort of scream. She is wearing this beautiful red dress, and she's holding onto a sort of scepter next to her. And all of these scenes sort of, you realize fairly quickly, are painting out the stories that you all grew up hearing in some form or
Our
another.
history books.
Your history books. The boring bits.
Madigan, we didn't get to discuss much, but your history. Tell me a story. I would love to hear a story right now. Story goes well with tea.
Well, nothing no one's heard. My great-grandfather was the original hatter.
The original.
Yes.
Who's drinking tea?
Not me yet.
I'll drink tea.
I'm sipping a nice chamomile lavender blend.
It is the best damn tea you've ever had in your entire life.
I could tell you stories of this tea, but the taste will do far more than my words will.
It's good tea, isn't it?
It is fantastic.
Two of them are bonding at the end of the table for being like, I hated you before, but the tea's good.
Forget our previous notions of each other. This is amazing. You're
I'm just
amazing.
kind of swirling the cup, but I'm not drinking up yet.
Perfect.
Did your grandfather tell you many stories?
I never actually met him. But I do have this book.
A book. Well, I bring it back to story time with tea. May I see it?
Well,
What book?
I'll pull it out of my satchel.
Do you open it?
No.
What does it look like?
It is leather-bound patchwork.
What is it a book about?
Well, I don't really know.
You haven't looked in it?
Were we all supposed to bring a book? Because I don't have
No,
one.
dear, it's okay. You brought those good looks. You're
Oh,
fine.
Okay.
What is the title of the book?
I'm going to hand her the book.
Well, I'm only a little
Did you-
head since
all right.
I asked first.
That's fine. He handed it to her, and then so are you looking over at the
Yeah,
pictures as
oh
well?
yeah.
Okay.
Both of you give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh god.
Oh, nope.
Nope.
That was an 8 plus 2. That was a 10.
You're looking at the
5.
You're not even sure it's a book.
Hey, what is book?
This is lovely. What is it?
Word.
So you're looking at the book, and he's swirling the tea around. He hasn't drank any yet. These two have been drinking the tea. You haven't drank yours yet, but you picked up the cup as well. Have you picked up the cup, or are you
Not
just
yet.
looking at it? So you're sort of looking over at the table at the pages, and you're looking at the pages as well, and you're like, "Oh, I don't think this is a." And then the words start sort of moving, and then like another word starts moving, and then a third word starts moving, and then a fourth word, and then a fifth, and then they all sort of like coalesce into this picture of a hat, and the hat is sort of bobbing up and down and up and down, and the hat jumps off the pages of the book, and as it jumps off the pages of the book, the two of you are sort of flown backwards into your seats a little bit, and as you sit there, you are stunned. For 6 seconds, these two go catatonic. Just not moving, just staring straight ahead.
What was in your book?
I'm going to take off and chase the hat.
No.
No?
The
Okay.
hat jumps out of the page.
Hat jumps
and
out of the page and then back in?
Yeah.
I'm going to reach over and grab the book.
Okay.
What did you do to them?
You're back.
Well, that's the first time a man's left me speechless.
Wow.
Tell me about the book.
It was my great-grandfather's. It's written in Sylvan.
I can read Sylvan. Can you
Yeah.
hold the book and I can read it?
You're gonna do it again?
Yes.
Awesome.
Makes sense.
So as he
Try
sort
that
of
again.
preps himself, you guys are all sort of like beaming forward. What are you doing in this?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm back in the chair, my velvet chair, with my feet up on the table,
Okay.
and I'm like just chilling, waiting. Like this should be interesting.
Okay. You hold up the book again.
Close the book.
Okay, you open it up.
I open the book.
Give me an intelligence saving throw at disadvantage.
Oh no.
Oh God! Oh no! I just rolled 2 at once.
So it's been fun
Yeah.
for all.
Yeah, it's been great.
Okay.
One druid.
Oh my god. Okay. This is perfect. So you watch as though he's like, I got this guy. She sort of like adjusts herself, and he holds up the book and he sort of opens it, and she's staring at the book. She's staring at the book. And then she goes and sits in the chair, and she sits like this.
I'm going to close the book.
Though he's still sitting like this.
Well, that's not good.
I go up to her and I just like rub my hands back and forth because like
Nothing.
I'm going to stand in front of her and finally sip my tea.
As you sip some of the tea in front of you, you notice that her head sort of jerks a little bit towards the tea.
Is it slight or is it something that I've noticed, at least being...
Yeah, I would say you notice this.
If she's moving and there's tea, perhaps giving her some tea, at least pressing it to her lips, allowing tea to drip down.
I'm going to just take my cup of tea and throw it in her face.
See, as the hot tea sort of hits her face, and she does not react.
Well, that didn't work.
Can I walk over and just take my teacup and just like press it against her lips and just try to pour it in her mouth?
As you lift your teacup up, all of the teacups on the table shake a little bit.
I'm putting mine down and like slowly inching away from the table. I don't like that.
What's the image that's on his teacup?
The image on his teacup is the caterpillar smoking the hookah,
I love it. I love it.
blowing little smoke rings
Yes,
and
sir.
smoke into the air.
So perfect. What's in front of you all? Just
I have
like
the book
curiosity.
in my hand, and I have my
Yeah, well,
teacup. What's
your
on my
your
teacup?
teacup.
What's on your teacup is Alice Fallen.
I'll look at mine.
You look at yours and it is the tea party. Yours is the Queen of Hearts.
So,
Hey man, this is like us right now.
Do you pick it up to look at it? Who picks up their teacup?
I picked mine up to look at it.
Okay,
I, like,
he doesn't
stare
touch
at
his,
it.
but when you guys all pick yours up, there's this, like, ting. And as you pick yours up, there's a ting and ting. The musical note sort of continues. And as it does, Thoe's hand sort of reaches over to where the cup is and grabs the cup.
Okay.
I don't like
Oh, EC wakes up and goes, "Oh, are we doing this? Okay." And she picks up her cup and there's a ting, and there's this sort of musical note that's traveling down and down. And Tui's got hers up to her lips, but the hand is still up.
Okay.
Alright, guys, let's
all
let's
this together?
toast, man.
Should we switch cups?
No, man,
No?
this
Got
is
it.
my cup.
clean cup.
Look it up, boys. EC drinks her tea, and as it does, your sort of form drinks the tea. You're gone. All of you are gone. You are falling a great distance through the inky black void of darkness. You see random images flash off to your side. You see a clock. You see things of that nature. You see teacups. You see each other growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking. And in the corner, EC is laughing hysterically the whole time. And as EC laughs hysterically the whole time, you see her form shift. And you see her get younger and younger and younger and cute and blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And all of a sudden she gets older and older and older again. And you wake up. You're laying on red velvet carpet. In a circular room all around you. 2 double doors leading out. You hear music playing from behind the 2 double doors. And you are all awake on the carpet.
Do I know this room?
You do not know this room.
I still have my book.
You search yourself and you have all the things you had before, including the teacups.
Okay.
Do I know the song being played?
You hear the song, and it is not a song that you've ever heard before. It is, which is odd to you because you think you know music, but it's a band. It's not a song. You're hearing like brass horns, and it's a swinging jam. Like it's pumping. Like this is dance music. This isn't like a dirge.
Okay.
What is my teacup?
Your teacup, funnily enough, is the only one that isn't from Alice in Wonderland. It is a creature sort of enveloped in darkness with 2 sort of red eyes painted in the blackness.
So not from Alice in Wonderland, the book, or not from the mythology at all? Is it what I think it is?
I had to.
Eyes of Flame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slow clap.
Does she know that poem?
Oh, yeah.
Give me an intelligence check.
That'd be better if she could say it.
Nat 20.
Yes.
You distinctly harken back. You see the cup. You're like, oh, the Jap. And then she called the thing Momrath. Momrath went to
The Momrath's out grave. Beware the
Momrath's
Jaguar.
out grave. And as you say the Momrath's out grave, you hear a voice from behind the 2 doors. Well, children, are you going to stand in there all day, or are you coming to the party?
Slowly. If we're on the floor.
Party? Oh, I believe we have to go have some fun. We've had quite the day.
I had a party though.
Well, that was tea. It's much more docile than a party.
This. Considering thus far, we should probably be a bit more weary of where we go.
I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't ask this, but are you able to read your book?
I open it.
I'm not looking. But can you see the words that are in it without knocking yourself out?
I open it and look at it.
You do. You see a few words that are starting to coalesce, but you notice as he's sort of looking down, he's just sort of like, he's looking at it, and then he does this thing where he, like, his head just keeps going, and then all of a sudden he's standing on his hands and sort of following the book in different ways, and at one point he bends down and he like brings his foot up to his head, and he just sort of like scratches his foot, and then he slaps the foot, and the foot goes down, and like all of a sudden he's doing these moves, and at one point he puts both of his hands back and he like stretches, and nothing's holding the book, and he just gives this big like yawn, and the book is floating there, and then he grabs the book, and you see words.
You can read the
Okay.
words in it,
Well, I told you it was Sylvan.
right? And you can read Sylvan.
Yeah, I speak Sylvan.
Okay, so what do the words say? Listen, I
That's
just
right.
got like knocked out twice for this book. You can't even tell me anything?
I will read what's in front of me aloud.
So you watch as he starts reading words from this book, and it starts off as random sort of syllables like push in 2 mushrooms, 1 root from the bush of this particular plant. If you use it correctly, sleep many years. And like he just breaks off into these random syllables and sentences. But for the most part, you're picking up little tidbits of recipes.
Yeah, see.
Yes, makes sense.
So
So I'm glad we're learning, but can we go back to that party idea?
We haven't been to the party yet, though.
So the
the
voice came from the
problem
other room, like
2
through the
double
door.
doors that
Okay.
sort of lead out with light leaking.
Go
Is
back
is this considered like? Are we in a place where this? How long is a short rest? I'm just thinking. I never healed myself after getting hit with the dragon before, so I am at like half my health.
Nice.
So
Sure, you could conceivably, unless someone else from the other side opens the door, stay
Okay.
here or if somebody is anxious to get through.
Well, I love you all very dearly, but there's probably 100 people over there that will love me just as dearly, so...
She pushes the 2 double doors open, and you're like, "Why don't we meditate and oh god!" Light erupts, and as you sort of look out, you see this opulent sort of ballroom, and it is chock-a-block with creatures and beings of different sizes and shapes. This place is covered floor to ceiling. And I say floor to ceiling because there are stories to this room. Opulent chandelier, a man standing at the very top. He's looking down at all of you, and he has this bright orange long hair that trails down his back. And he's got these gold, silver sort of robe, and he's standing at the top of the staircase sort of looking down at all of you with his hair sort of trailing down. Everyone in the room that's been talking and laughing stops. All 200 of them turn to face the 2 doors that have opened up. And as they do, people put drinks down on the bar and get up from chairs and walk forward. And as they do, the man at the top of the stairs holds his hand up, and people stop moving. And that's where we're going to take our intermission tonight. We're going to get a quick drink, we're going to do a quick bathroom break, and then we are going to get into the party. So we'll see you soon. Hi, everybody. We're back, but we're finishing up some intermission stuff, and people are coming back and grabbing some food and stuff. So far, what has happened with our heroes? Our intrepid band of adventurers have met in the forest outside of the Red Keep. Upon meeting each other, there was a bit of commotion. Some of the characters got along better than others. We found out that Thoe really enjoys her books and reading, and that Grim just enjoys being the center of life and the center of himself and just being centered. We also learned that our resident blue-haired wizard... We're not trying to figure out. We're good. We're just doing a synopsis. That Nyx is a little laid back and chill, and you are traveling with a bit of a celebrity, as Mandrake is the great-great-grandson of the original Hatter. Upon discovering a battle taking place in the woods, you found a large lizard-like, dragon-like creature, and you met the captain of the Spades for this particular section of the forest, named Enzo. Enzo said he has no gold to offer you for this, but if you would like to come and visit him, he is happy to arrange a good working relationship with you, sort of working with the castle. And doing odd jobs for him and earning your place. He's also given you his marker to mark you as sort of free agents of the kingdom. You hung out with a little old lady by the name of EC, who took you to a tea party, of which, upon drinking the tea, you find yourself in a large expense, which is where we return to right now. Not before we thank Plaster Dragon and Meowdith for the bits. Thank you guys so much. We love you so much. We're going to incorporate a bit system. At some point, I'm going to clear with the players first, but maybe it's giving advantage, maybe it's pulling a critical success or a critical failure card for you guys, but we're going to let them mess with you guys. We'll find out more about that in a little bit.
Yes.
So, the party. We take you now live to the party as all of these entities sort of turn and look in your direction, and there are quite a few of them.
Wow, man, there's like 200 people-ish here, man.
You're all pretty human looking because you're human.
Yeah.
And what's your race?
I'm the Gemini.
Okay. So this is a place where it's better to look not like Exhibit A, but to look more like Exhibit.
Give me a
Us.
perception check.
Oh,
As no one is sort of moving, but you see the person at the top of the stairs.
21.
There's a myriad of creatures in here. Like stuff that you normally don't see anywhere near the Red Keep. You're seeing an approximation of what she looked like before. Like the
That's right, because I
scales.
still look dragon. Oh, no,
The
I don't look
scales
dragon
and stuff
anymore.
like
Okay.
that. You see dwarves, you see gnomes, which you recognize immediately, which is a little freaking out. You see elves, you see people of all different levels of attractiveness.
There's so many
stars.
flavors at
You
this
see
buffet.
A gentleman, you roll very high, you will see a gentleman that is staring daggers at you. He is covered in long black hair. Almost looks like enough hair to be like furry, and he's got a scar from one end of his face all the way down to the other. And he's just dead-eyeing you.
Cute.
Well, then I'm going to allow some of my features to become present. Some of my animalistic features to come present.
Grim sort of makes eye contact with the creature up top, and everyone here sort of notices as he looks more animalistic. His teeth grow longer. I would say that his muscles become a little bit more defined in his arms, and his hair just grows a lot. Like he's looking less human.
Okay.
She's completely forgotten herself, and she's going up and poking at his fangs and pulling on his hair.
Oddly enough, I think this is a little bit of an improvement.
This is
How do you...
This is more of
Because
a-
I wouldn't have seen anything like this before, right? He's fairly new to this.
Which is funny to me because you're in the middle of this room with everyone staring at you, and you're like, 2 seconds. How is
How
this?
is where did these come from? Please, just step up, please. This is more of a natural form for me. It's not a big of a deal.
Fair enough.
Can you tell me more?
The gentleman at the top of the stairs makes his way down, long orange hair sort of trailing behind him with his gold and silver ornate robes, and sort of walks down. And as he walks down, he stands on the stairs a little ways away from all of you, and he goes, "You do know why you're all here, don't you?"
No.
Because they all know why you are here.
Well, I'm here for the party. He's here because we dragged him along. She's here because she wants to learn things. We kind of dragged him along too. This one's pretty, so we brought him as well.
And she's a big sharer.
She's apple for sure.
He crosses his arm in front of him and he places one hand here and he puts a hand up to his face and he's like, you're here for those reasons, but you're also here because it's your going away party. And as he says that, everyone loses it. People like start screaming and cheering. You hear champagne being popped, and as that happens, a painting unfurls from the ceiling. And as it unfurls, it is a painting of the five of you. You're all sort of standing there in the middle of a battlefield, hands around each other, hugging. You're all smiling. Some of you have weapons. You're wearing a hat.
Yes.
A very nice hat that you know exactly what it is. And this large painting unfurls from the ceiling, and the man sort of stands back and looks at it and looks expectantly at all of you. He says, "What do you think? Is it too much?"
It's wonderful. Look at how it makes us look so grand and so lovely.
See, you are never this magnanimous every time we meet. It's only in certain occasions where your true colors come out. Come this way, and he sort of walks forward, and there is a table, large table set in the middle of the room, and there are 5 chairs set up. And he goes, I know, it's a little joke that we like to play. Do you know what happens the first time you come to my club? Party TV. Do you know what happens?
Well, I hope a lot of fun.
Well, time gets a little wonky. This is actually the first time you come into the club. It's the last time we get to see you come into the club. So the first time you enter is actually your going away party. See, all of these people you will have met over the years, hanging out in the club, having the time of your life, living a long, some of you long, happy, fun life. And so this is the last time that we all get to see you and celebrate you. So friends from your storied past, which you have yet to live, are all here tonight. Drinks are on us, food is on us, entertainment is on us, because you have all done so much for wonder. You don't even know it. So I am your enigmatic host, Cheshire. But if you need anything, please find anyone here at the club with the cat ears or the cat tail, and they will know what to do. Now, I've instructed the guests to the number 1 rule, which is no spoilers! And everybody slams their drink down and drinks some. That's right, no spoilers, because we wouldn't want to go messing with how things actually happened. Welcome, my dears, to your going away party. I do hope you enjoy yourselves. And he bows and sort of looks at all of you and walks away from the table. And as that happens, food is on the table, and it's not just food, it's your favorite foods. This is somebody that knows you intimately. It is a vegetarian smorgasbord that's laid out for our I don't know what you guys eat. What is the comfort food that your characters would have after years of knowing them? Ribs? Are we talking those big
rare steak and
rare
sausage,
steak.
Potatoes, like
Very high class food.
Okay, you see hoity-toity. You see like the richest creme de la creme food brought to this and sort of laid out in front of them.
Tea and biscuits.
Tea and biscuits are laid out in front of you, and you see a teacup with tea already in it placed in front of you.
Warm veggie soup and crackers and cheeses and fruits and things that I can eat perfectly in a library while reading a book.
You not only see that, but you see a tiny little book that's tucked away with the food, and the server sort of lays the food out and like looks at the book and just sort of winks at you a little bit. And then, what do you have in front of you?
It would be probably tarts and fine wine and
Okay.
the luxuries.
The luxurious food decadent, something you would eat in bed. Yes. All of this food is laid out in front of you. The room is odd because occasionally people will walk by and clap you on the shoulder and won't say a word, but will just look at you and make eye contact. You are free to start conversations with people. Not everybody's looking at you happy. There are some people in the room that look over at you with anger in their eyes, and then from out of nowhere you'll hear a cough, and Cheshire from the staircase will sort of look down and raise an eyebrow, and then they'll stop what they're doing and sort of back up. And the night is yours to explore the club as you will.
She stands up and she just goes, "Which one of you did I actually enjoy my night with?"
25 to 30 people in the balcony all raise their hand, and then you hear someone say, "She said actually," and a few of them put their hands down, and Cheshire says, "Actually," and about 4 or 5 of them remain sort of spread throughout, and it is some very, very pretty people.
You are all more than welcome to purchase me a drink. We can talk.
Rush. There's a rush to the bar. A sort of booth opens up and somebody comes and takes your hand and leads you over to the booth, and people are just sitting, like sharing your praises. The 4 that stayed there sort of scoot in next to you, and everybody makes way for them as well. As that happens. What's everybody else doing?
I'm looking for the. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna grab a handful of biscuits, shove them in my pocket, grab my cup of tea, and go to the nearest gnomes.
Give me a d20.
12.
Okay. You are looking around, you're looking around, and you see this table of gnomes not too far off in the distance. So Madigan, you sort of walk forward with your tea and your biscuits, and you go, what do you say to them?
No spoilers. I'm gonna take out my book and just lay it down in front of them.
It is an older woman,
Okay.
and she has 3 children at the table with her.
I'm gonna hand
two
cookies to
two boys and a girl.
Okay.
A really young boy, older boy, girl in the middle.
Okay.
Okay. She sort of looks over at you and she smiles and looks at the book and sort of looks down at the table, and the older boy looks at you and he smiles and he takes the cookie and he eats it, and the girl sort of looks over at you and she looks at the book and she asks to look at the book,
I hand it to her.
and she holds the book, she holds it, and the little kid is shaking.
I hand him a cookie, pat him on the head, and then I take the book and hand it to him.
He takes the cookie, shoves it in his mouth, and goes, "Hey, Dada!" And the minute he goes, "Hey, Dada!" the girl smacks him and says, "No." And he takes the book, and he's looking at the book, and he starts shifting it to the left.
Okay. I'm gonna pat him on the head, take the book back.
You start to walk away. The little boy breaks away before the woman can grab him, and he runs up to you, wraps his arms around your waist, and says, "Love you, Dada," and comes back around and he sits down.
Okay. I'm gonna hand him another cookie before he runs away.
And he runs.
And I'm gonna sit down at the table with the book and just start thumbing through the pages.
Something's been circled.
Okay. I'm gonna focus on that.
You see a little mark, and as you do, you hear this sneeze come from the table, from the little girl that was at the table that had the book first. And the word starts swirling, and you start moving your head and cocking it, and it takes a while for this one to pick up. Give me an intelligence check.
11.
You can't catch the second word.
Okay.
But the first and the third are pick something up.
Okay.
What else you guys do?
I'm going after the person that was shooting daggers at me, and I'm going to seek him out.
you start walking around. Give me an investigation check as you're sort of looking around. Give me an investigation or perception as you're going to just let yourself sort of...
Yeah, perception would be better.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
You stand up from your seat, and as you stand up from your seat, you hear this... And you don't have to look. He's standing behind you. You
Great.
turn around and like, this mother, and your eye with his chest, like he was apparently a lot taller than you thought, and you sort of look up and he's like sort of standing over you, the features of him sort of growling. And as he's sort of standing over you, you notice movement up in the balcony and movements off to the side as other beings start sort of turning and stopping conversation and looking at you, looking at him.
Well, that is a mighty interesting scar across your face. How did one get such a thing?
Battle.
Oh, so were you the winning side of the battle or the losing side of the battle?
Do you see the other one?
The winning side. Okay, well. So you're looking at me in such a way as if I've wronged you. Is this true? Is this why you're looking at me so?
He goes to take a step forward and he looks off to the side and looks over at the stairs. And Cheshire's standing there and he stares at Cheshire for a long time. And Cheshire and him sort of stare at each other. And he quickly darts his eyes to look over at you. And Cheshire rolls his eyes. And as he does, he grabs you by the arm and smacks you here. And he says, "Brother." And then as he does that, you hear this sound of the other beings in the room grabbing each other by the arm, grabbing each other by the arm. And they're repeating the word. And it's changing languages. And it's echoing throughout the room. It's brother, 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 brother. And he pulls you in. He comes back. And he walks away.
Before he gets out of earshot, can I just say whisper?
Sure.
So if you get too close, I'll just say our mother's name, just whisper, and just to see how he reacts.
You say mother's name and he stops and he looks over at you and he doesn't say anything. He walks into the crowd.
All right. Do you want to go?
Yeah. I take a bit of the food and I kind of go. You said there's multiple levels?
Yes.
I go to the highest level and to the farthest corner and kind of slowly pick up the food and eat it.
You sit in the farthest corner and it gets quieter and quieter as you move up into the area. It's a sort of chair that reminds you of when you were growing up, that you would push it back to the back corner and you could control this space. You couldn't control anything around you, but you could control this space. And how much fun you had being able to control this space. And as you lay in that corner and sit, most people don't bother you. There's a few people that shoot glances your way and sort of nudge each other and point and look. But for the most part, people give you a wide berth. There is a woman that comes up to you and she sees what you're eating and she occasionally smiles at you and refills your drink. But she is a beautiful elven woman with long white hair. It sort of comes down to about mid-back, and she takes your plate away when you're done and brings you a fresh plate of strawberries and cream, and sort of sets it up next to you. She even brings a small candle and a reading stand and sets it up close to you, but doesn't say anything.
All right. Do you have something?
Just don't deserve to be eating this right now.
Do you say that out loud?
Quietly, under my breath.
While she's there?
No.
She comes back and she takes the reading stand and she takes the strawberries and cream and she holds a hand out. She doesn't say anything.
I don't take it, but I give him just a nod and like, thank you.
So when you don't move, she holds it there for a while, and she goes over and starts walking alongside the walls up on the top floor. She shakes her head no. She shakes her head no. And she comes over and she takes a painting and she puts it in front of you.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. Because the minute you acknowledge it, we have to put it away.
We're gonna go back and we're gonna watch this in like 6 months and be like, oh my god, it all makes sense now.
See.
Okay, so I can't resist. I gotta look at the book.
You open
Bracing myself.
You open the book, and it looks very long. There's a lot of little tiny pages to it. It almost looks like the notebook that you're holding. It's not your notebook. However, inside the notebook are countless little ciphers and word puzzles, and you see even a few like math puzzles. But each one is written in a different handwriting. Each one is written in a different language. You even see some really clever sort of pictograph stuff. Each page is different, with a different sort of writing and ink on it. You're pretty clever. I would give you an intelligence check to see if you're able to decipher any of the few pages. Where would she lean towards? Magic, sort of runic puzzle? Would she lean towards the math puzzle, word puzzles, cipher stuff?
She's gonna lean towards the mysteries, the cipher stuff.
Okay, so you flip through the pages and you find one.
12.
You start to pick it up a little bit. I will say you can dedicate another like 15 minutes of this while everybody's sort of partying. And,
Oh, yeah.
Give me another check at advantage this time, as you're you guys all watch. Everybody's sort of enjoying the party. People are buying you drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Another 12.
I-
Even with advantage. Yeah, I rolled a 10 and a 4.
You after spending quite a bit of time and sort of ignoring your food, doing what you've done before with your head buried in a book and eating the soup and just food that you're used to just eating absent-mindedly, you decipher the first message. And the first message in this tiny notebook is, I can't thank you enough. You changed my life because you changed me. I will never forget your teachings. Gretchen.
Okay. Great.
You can give me 2 more intelligence checks to see if you read any more of the other ciphers.
At regular intelligence on an advantage.
Yeah, an advantage. You're starting to pick up. You're in the code
Alright.
breaking.
Wow.
Spirit.
A nat 1 and a 5, so that was a 7.
Right.
And
Yes.
a nat 20 and an 11.
Okay, so the first one you're like, I'm giving up on this one. This was too hard. And the nat 20, it's like almost when you clear your mind and you turn the page. And this one is written almost childlike. It's written in like long strokes, but you can see they're still trying to do a cipher, but it's really easy. Every letter is just shifted to the right one. Looks very rudimentary. And it says, I'm Isaac. You're my favorite teacher. Thanks, headmistress. Remember, I'm Isaac.
I like being Isaac.
Okay. I'm gonna hold the book and I'm gonna look around and say really loudly, Isaac?
That's not the worst plan. You see a tall individual over by the bar who is drinking something sort of drop his glass immediately, and the buddy next to him is like, He just sort of shakes his head, and he's just sort of staring straight ahead, like pretending like he's still holding the glass. And his buddy's like looking down at his hand and just sort of reaches down, picks up the glass from the floor. It's obviously broken, but he's just sort of standing there and holding it like this, and he like looks over at you and he waves.
I run over there.
And
does he look like an adult
his
or a
buddy's
child?
like, I don't want to be any part of this. He looks like he's in his younger 20s. He looks a little, yeah.
Hi.
Oh.
How long ago did you write this?
I didn't write anything because that would be wrong. Nobody wrote anything.
Let's just say you did.
Well,
How long ago would you have written it if you had written it, even though you didn't?
He sort of looks around and sees that nobody's sort of around because we've already sort of written you off, and he goes, I'm not saying that I wrote it, but if I did write it, I would say that the person I was writing it to told me I was okay for not being like everybody else. And he starts like crying a little bit. And I would say, and I would like to thank that person for building a place where I could be different. And I would say that their library was the best one I've ever been in my entire life.
Wow.
And Cheshire grabs him by the ear and would be like, oh, dingus, let's go. And sort of drags him off into the distance. Is anybody doing anything else with their evening? Let's get back to your painting. You see an individual sitting in a chair. You see another person sitting in the chair next to them. It's not someone you've ever seen before. They're wearing a crown, and they're holding the first person's hand.
Do I recognize these people?
You recognize the person in the first chair that's holding the strange woman's hand.
Okay. That's relieving. Okay. I'm assuming I don't like this person.
You don't like this person.
Yeah. Alright. I don't want to look at it anymore.
She doesn't let you go. She holds it up, and then she looks around and she goes,
Can I roll investigation?
yes.
23.
She points at a spot and she looks around. And as you're walking away, she grabs you by the collar of your shirt. And it's a lot of strength for somebody that's this sort of small and like long white hair. She grabs you by the collar of your shirt and she yanks you forward. And as she yanks you forward, your head sort of like jolts forward and you stop. Because you're standing there, the person you see in the chair and the person sitting that you don't recognize are there. And you look and there's feet behind a red curtain behind that individual. And she looks down at your shoes.
They're the same.
And she takes the painting and she puts it back on the wall. And she looks around one more time. And she reaches forward and kisses you. And she runs off.
I'm speechless.
The party winds down, as parties often do. Tweedledee, you spend the night being lavish and giving gifts and lots of like candy and chocolate and people telling stories about how beautiful you are, and you don't know what's made up or what's true. You spend the majority of your night drinking in silence and sitting with people, and occasionally those same people that you saw will grab your wrist and call you brother, and they'll tell stories about some of their exploits, stuff that they've done, creatures that they've killed. You notice them being a little guarded at times. You spend the majority of your night and you cycle through a lot of this notebook, and a lot of it are similar notes of praise. Thank you. I needed a place. I didn't have a place. You gave me that place. right up until the last one. You get to the very last note in the cipher, and after a night of like everybody's partying and sort of enjoying themselves tea, I imagine you're just spending the night making faces at the table next to you and doing tricks and things like that. You get to the last note, and it's 2 crude drawings. One going this way to the left, one going this way to the right. And there's a stick figure in the middle, and they're going like this. And you don't see anything else. You see a stick figure in the middle, you see a path going off to the left, and a path going off to the right. And you're like, you don't see anything different from it. And then you close the book. And as you close the book, there's an arrow where that would have been on the back cover, but it's pointing up. Path to the left, path to the right, person in the middle. When you close the book, there's an arrow pointing up.
I look up.
You look up at the ceiling, and there's a mirror.
Okay. Do I see anything there?
You see yourself looking up, but it's cocked off to the side.
So the mirror isn't reflecting accurately.
No, it's angled. It's like pointing further away.
Okay. So I walk in that direction? Can I walk in that? I mean, I can't walk up, but...
Sure. You sort of look, and you're like, you don't even like say excuse me to people. You're
Yeah,
knocking
I'm just
over
bumping
tables
into people.
and sort of, and you follow, and another mirror hits, and you look where the light might reflect, and you sort of walk through. You're following all these mirrors, and it's taking you up and up and up to where you actually walk past Nix and like don't even say anything, and you're worried that she's gonna interact with you, and you don't want to be interacted with. And it takes you all the way around to the very top to a mirror that's pointing past the door that says service entrance.
And I don't see any of them around right now?
No one's around.
I'm going to peek in.
You peek into the room that says service entrance, and inside the room are a lot of paintings. A lot of paintings.
I walk in.
Okay, they're all stacked alongside. It almost looks like they were taken off somewhere and like put in this room.
Okay, what's in the paintings?
Give me 3 D20s.
Okay, I've got a 6, a 2, and a 9.
One of them is you, and it is standing on the top of a mountain, balanced on one foot. The second one that you find is Madigan standing over the body of Tweedleday. As you start to rifle through the third painting, or sort of pull this painting that's off to the side, and you hear footsteps coming up to the door. And as you do, you see a world engulfed in flame.
In the other painting?
The last painting you see is a world engulfed in flame, and all of that flame is in the amphitheater because the table is unscathed.
So the amphitheater is filled with flame, but the table's unscathed.
As you look and you pull this painting, Cheshire sort of is looking at the mirror and sort of opening the door, and he's like, "Your children, I swear, let's set up. It'll be nice. We can do all the work for you. We'll take the paintings down. You out. You out.
I leave.
Out." Closes the door behind him. All right. He brings everyone back to the table, and people start to exit out of the bar. They walk through the double doors, and then there's a second, and then the double doors are opened, and there's no one in the round room. Cheshire says, "All right, everyone, you still have your teacups, I suppose, right?
Right.
Here's the thing about my club. It's always around. You'll find all sorts of drink and food at your disposal. The next time you come in will actually be the first time any of us ever get to meet you. So please be polite and be kind and try not to kick up a stir. Anytime you want to come in, you can come in for an hour at a time. You just all have to be touching your teacups to each other. Now, will I say that sometimes creatures have used this to their advantage and managed to get out of the scrape and do a little bit of planning to come back in? Do I care? No, I don't, because it's you being clever. All the teacups have to be touching, and then you have an hour of time here.
The teacups touching each other, or the teacups touching our lips?
Teacups touching each other. You have an hour of time that you can spend here in the club, or more if you are nice to me. And he looks over at you.
She just.
And then you are back in that original spot, no time having been passed.
What if what if I lose mine? Can they go and I just hang behind?
You don't all have to go. I can arrange that. Good. Are we done?
I
Did you have
guess.
fun?
Oh,
Did you enjoy the food, the dancing, the club? Please be sure to compliment it the next time you arrive.
The
Please.
salted beef is fantastic.
Yes, I'm sure.
She just takes him and leans him into herself, just
Great.
there.
I seem to have misplaced my hat.
What hat?
Mine?
I don't think so. I'll check the lost and found. As Cheshire is leaving, you are all sort of walking towards the door. Give me a perception check at advantage.
All of us?
Yes, everyone.
Nat 20.
19.
7.
You rolled it twice, and you took the higher of the two.
The second one was 19.
The second one was 19, so that's advantage. So you
Okay.
can take that advantage.
Okay.
23.
Nat 20.
You all watch as sort of walking forward, and then you notice in front of him is a spoon. You just notice in front of where he's walking is a spoon.
Like laying on the floor?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll bend down and pick that.
You bend down, you pick up the spoon, and as he picks up the spoon, Cheshire is ushering you all towards the doors, and he stops to pick up a spoon, and then you hear a voice say, "Did I miss him? Did I miss him?" And a man sort of coming around the corner, and you know this man. And he goes, "My boy, this is my boy. You're so little. I've been holding it for you. Been waiting for you. Wonder's been waiting for you." And the man takes his hat off, and he gives it a quick kiss, and Cheshire is ushering you all towards the doors, and as Cheshire reaches around and grabs you by the shirt and pulls you this way, the man smiles, throws it, and as he throws his hat, it flies through the air and lands perfectly on top of Madigan's. And as it does, Mandrake has received the hat.
Thank you, grandfather.
As he says, "Thank you, grandfather," the doors start to close as the original Mad Hatter looks at all of you and bows his head. And when he looks up again, the eyes, one is blue, one is green, and he smiles and he disappears as the door shut in front of you, and you are sitting at a grandiose marble table, each of you holding a teacup in your hand, and EC sort of leaning backwards.
Am I sober now?
Did you enjoy your tea?
Well, you see, you sure know how to throw a party.
Oh yes, well dear, I've been doing it for a very long time.
And that's where we're going to end our adventure. Not quite.
Oh.
I wanted to share something with all of you. This is my first campaign, and so you got an intro that I shared the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
But this is your outro. So we end at the ending. What a strange place to start. This group does show promise and bravery and heart. Each week, if you let me, a story to write, full of fun and romance and an occasional fight. I can't promise stability, Right? That isn't my way. I can't promise you'll get things without having to pay. I can't promise you life, that's yours to fight for. I can't promise you safety. What I promise is more. I promise you'll grow. And I promise you'll lose. And I promise you will gain more with something to prove. I promise you story, and I promise you an end. I promise you closure, but I won't force you when. I promise you treasure, items, precious rings, and I promise at least 6 impossible things. But at the end of the day, the best promise of all, I promise adventure and her loving call. You'll laugh, you'll hurt, you'll pray, you'll dream, and I'll be there beside you with another new scheme. So, dear viewer, and all of you, we'll see you next week with more stories to tell. I present to you our rabbit hole, and then they all fell. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first episode of Wonder, my gift to the fans. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Please tell your friends we will be back here every Tuesday night with more stories to tell and lots of fun places to go and lots of pages to fill. So we will talk to you all soon. We love you all.
Oh, thank you, Meowadith.
Thank you, Meowadith. Yeah, do you wonder?